Did you know that Smucker's natural peanut butter and Jif reduced fat peanut butter have completely different ingredients? According to the respective websites, Smucker's natural peanut butter has only two ingredients, peanuts and salt, whereas the Jif reduced fat peanut butter has over 17 different ingredients, to include niacinamide, ferric orthophosphate, and pyridoxine hydrochloride. I've been practicing. Now, we've all heard the phrase, if you can't pronounce it, then you probably shouldn't be eating it. Hi, my name is Mark Harrison, and I'm here today to talk to you about what GMOs are, why companies use them, and some of the impacts using them has created. So what exactly is a GMO? Well, according to the Huffington Post, a GMO, a genetically modified organism, is any organism that has been genetically altered to include the DNA of another organism. An organism being a bacteria, virus, plant, or animal. Now, these genetic combinations don't occur naturally, so we use science to do it for us. For example, a plant might be made to be more resistant to insects, or it could be made to produce more nutrients or fruit. So now that we have a better understanding of what GMOs are, what's all the fuss about? Well, if you were to walk into a grocery store and randomly grab a food item off the shelf, there is about a 70% chance that you'll grab a GMO product, according to Forbes.com. Now, using GMOs has many benefits for these companies. For example, their GM crops are cheaper. They can be made to be resistant to insects, plants, animals, pesticides, and we can also use it to make these plants grow faster, or we can use it to make these plants more resistant to weather. Now, all of that sounds good, right? So what's the big problem? Well, the problem is no one really knows what products are exactly GMO and which ones aren't. And this is because we don't label our GMO products. Well, California tried to fix this with Prop 37, which would have made GMO labeling mandatory for anything in the state. The problem is it was defeated 53 to 47. Now, so labeling of GMO seems like the primary issue. So what are some environmental impacts that have occurred from GMO use? Well, I'm glad you asked, because there are some actual environmental concerns when using GMOs. In 1996, a company called Monsanto Corporation created a new kind of crop called a Roundup Ready crop. And these Roundup Ready crops were pretty much immune to the Roundup pesticide. Now, the problem with that is these plants that survive around the Roundup Ready crops, that they spray Roundup all over, some of the plants survive, and the ones that survive become what's easily to describe as like superweed, because now they're more immune to the Roundup. So we use more Roundup to try to control these, and it just creates a domino effect. Now, as we continue to use these Roundup Ready crops, there's another issue with the actual seeds themselves because they're sterile. So instead of being able to use the seeds from this crop to make the next crop, and you just continue to use the same crop to refresh, you have to buy the new seeds. And this is kind of like updating your antivirus software. It really shouldn't apply to food, I don't think. Now, that's a lot of information in a short amount of time. So let's wrap it up a bit. We began today by discussing what exactly GMOs were, and then we went into some of the reasons companies use these GMOs. And then we finished it out by some of the environmental concerns related to these GMO products. So I beg you, the next time you walk into a store, take a quick look at the label. You might be surprised at what you find.